At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, as you come into the chat room, please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. I will greatly appreciate it. I love all of y'all. Disclaimer. Excuse me, I just finished eating. That's why I was running behind. Just finished eating supper. But disclaimer. We are not going to agree on everything. We're going to have our differences of opinion, but don't allow that for us to not be friends. Okay? Again, don't allow that. Don't stop that from us being friends or being cool. We just have a difference of opinion, and you have a right to your opinion. Let's just be respectful, okay? Let's just be respectful. Before we get started, got a couple of announcements. Announcement number 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fact, you know what? My web guy actually started updating the tours on the Donfo site. So please visit donfo.africa. Nigeria should be updated. Nigeria is updated August 3rd to the 12th. 2025, y'all. If you want to join us in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival, again, if you want to join us in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival, you are more than welcome to join us. Let me see if Zanzibar is updated yet, because we're going back to Zanzibar next year too. Zanzibar is updated September 21st through September 30th. If you want to join us in Zanzibar next year, we'll love to have you. We're also rolling to Benin in a couple months. Man, it's already November. It is already November, you guys. Goodness, it's already November. I can't believe it. You're trying to tell me the year is almost over. Again, you're trying to tell me that the year is almost over. It is already November 11th. So y'all make sure you have a productive end of the year. Still be productive. Don't check out yet. Have a productive end of the year, you guys. And then we're rolling to Sierra Leone in a couple weeks as well. So we leave November 25th for Sierra Leone. So if you're interested in joining us on any of these adventures or experiences, we will love to have you all. We'll love to have you join us. Let me just check one thing, guys, before we jump into today's topic. And listen, we're gonna deal. I mean, because it's important. We're gonna, I'm gonna continue to give my commentary on the Donald Trump victory for a couple more days. Because you got to hear both sides of the story, and I think other differing opinions are very important. So, because we just don't want to live in our own echo chamber, So we're gonna cover this. Oh, you guys said I faded out for Zanzibar. I'm sorry, September 21st through September 30th. It's September 21st through September 30th. Sorry about that. But guys, go to donfo.africa. Visit donfo, DANFO.Africa, and all the information is updated there. So again, please visit donfo, DANFO.Africa, and all the information should be updated there. But here we go. Here goes. He didn't update that part. Got to give him to update that. What else we got here? Yeah, I just got to get him to update that day. But that's fine. It's fine. So again, please visit donfo.africa. I'm not rubbing anything in. It's just, I just think it's important for people to hear differing opinions and not to be in such an echo chamber. And then to also understand, especially for people who are on the left, Democratic Party, the whole racism, and a lot of you going to disagree with me, the whole racism, misogyny angle, I think I would say that's the easy way out, because that keeps you from really diving in and reflecting on why you lost. And I did a whole show a couple of days back on why you lost. And like I said, the whole racism, misogyny, that's just the easy way out. The Democratic Party threw Kamala Harris out there, who wasn't prepared, who ran a terrible campaign. That's it. That's all. You'd have been better off running Tulsi Gabbard, but you ran her off. She's a woman of color. Tulsi Gabbard's a woman of color, POC, technically. But you guys ran her off. Oh, you guys could have ran RFK Jr., but guess what? You ran him off. He would have done a better job. Not saying necessarily he would have beat Trump, but he would have done a better job if he ran against Trump versus what you guys threw out there. Terrible. He would have done a much better job. In 2016, you had Bernie Sanders, but guess what? You guys sabotaged him for Hillary Clinton. So I'm listening to the so-called political pundits. You know, these political pundits on CNN, and they're just saying racist. No way, man. He's a felon. He's a felon. I ain't never vote for a felon. You know, I'm never voting for a felon. You know, he's a 34 felony convicted felon. And I'm just going to tell you, like, no one cares. And it showed last Tuesday, no one gives a damn. He won a popular vote. And I'm going to get into why no one cares. And if you look at the thumbnail, you see Nathan Wade and Fani Willis. You guys picked some of the most incompetent, corrupt people. You guys picked some of the most incompetent, corrupt people to take down Donald Trump. And when people saw how corrupt these people were, how incompetent they are, they were like, okay, listen, this is obviously a witch hunt. They were like, this is obviously a witch hunt. So the whole, here in Atlanta, here in Fulton County, the whole Fani Willis election interference case, that it backfired. Jack Smith backfired. The case right now, the cases in New York backfired. Because people are like, this ain't adding up. None of this is adding up. They were corrupt. You guys chose the wrong people to go after them. And it backfired. And people saw, the American people saw that. So it's like, why continue? So, you know, why keep harping on the whole 32 felonies? But I want to let me get into this Fani Willis when she here we go. Hold on. When this happened right here, I knew it was over. Hold on. I hope they play this from the beginning. Hold on. I hope they play this from when she walks in. I gotta find when they. And the thing is, you have people who are rooting this on. You have people who are cheering this on. Get them, girl. Get them, girl. You know, be a strong black woman. Get them, girl. I'm like, she's embarrassing y'all. It was unprofessional and just embarrassing. But you know, y'all was get them, girl. Get them, girl. Yeah, girl. She defiant, girl. She defiant. Tell them what it is, girl. Fani standing on her business. Fani standing on business. I'm like, man, she's about to ruin this case and embarrass all of y'all. I'm like, she's about to ruin this case. Here we go. Here we go. I need to play this part. This is the hold on. This is what I knew. Success stories. This is what I knew Trump won. This is what I knew Trump won right here. The biggest middle finger was white women giving the middle finger to black women, cold world. I said that was going to happen. That happened in 2006. We'll talk about that later. This is what I knew it was over. Hold on. So guys, so she just bum rushes the courtroom. And this white lady right here, this is Fani's lawyer. And look at her looking like, what the hell is going on? Look at her lawyer's face. This is Fani Willis's lawyer's face. She's like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you doing, Fani? We didn't tell you to come down here. So Fani decides, Fani's like, yeah, I was watching y'all from my office and I just had to bum rush the courtroom and I'm coming to testify right now. And her lawyer's like, what are you? This is her lawyer. Look at the lawyer's face. I wish I could zoom in. Look at her lawyer's face like, what the hell is going on? Guys, hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button. Again, please hit the like button. Guys, if you have not hit that like button, please hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. So when this happened, I knew it was over. And I knew what was happening in this case was going to carry over to the other cases. I knew what was happening in this case was going to play out and carry over to the other cases. But again, guys, I know I sound like a broken record. Look at her lawyer's face. That says it all right there. Like, what the hell are you doing? So she just bum rushes the courtroom. Look at this. Look how she enters. Just unprofessional as hell. And suddenly walks in, hands on her hip. Look at this dude right here. Look at these faces. Look. Look at these faces. Like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? You weren't scheduled to appear, but you just want to bum rush the courtroom and get on the stand. And she ruined it. Her ego, her arrogance, just ruined it. So those are papers or notes on the table. Look at this dude right here. Like, what the hell's going on?
She files her financial declarations, same problems. We need a red herring.
So she throws it down. She throws it down
her financial declarations
just to pick it back up. So she throws the paper down in the court just to pick it back up. So she's throwing a temper tantrum during a hearing that affects her case. She's throwing a temper tantrum. And again, look at her lawyer or the lady that's representing her in Fulton County. Look at her. Like, what are you doing? I mean, she throws the paper down just to pick it back up.
same problems. We need a red here to go over all of this and to explain exactly what happened. So we would ask the court that the court allow Ms. Willis to be called and interrogated on these matters.
And I would, to Your Honor.
Just a moment, Ms. Willis. So, Ms. Cross, I don't know if you want to speak with Ms. Willis now. It's sounding like maybe they're withdrawing
I believe
the objection to the motion,
I believe the motion to
or does Ms. Willis want to take the lead here?
withdraw the motion to quash Ms. Willis.
Based on the, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So I'm ready to go.
The position of the district attorney at this point is that she's no longer contesting the subpoena. Ms. Merchant has called her as the next witness.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant.
3 filings.
Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant?
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we could locate those for you in the supplemental.
I want the one filed on January the 8th, the one filed immediately after we filed ours, and the final one.
If you want to take a break to get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one.
You know, the only copy I have is going to have my notes on it. So if we don't have a clean copy,
We have a 5-minute break, Your Honor.
Let's
I'll get
take-
the documents.
all right.
I'll sit here and wait for him.
And guys, you want to know why she wanted those? Hold on. Let me get to why she wanted. Hold on. Let me get to why she wanted the copy of those documents. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it. Hold on. Let me go back and find it. Let me find it. Hold on. And y'all was sitting there gassing Fani up. You get them, girl. You get them. Yeah, you tell her. You get them, girl. You get them. Just so she could do this right here. Hold on. I mean, she's in court acting out of line.
Visit you at a place that you resided.
Hold on. Let me see. Here we go. Here's another part. Let me play this.
Okay. I don't understand you. In 2020, I lived in South Fulton.
Okay.
That's the only place I lived in South Fulton. That's before I had to abandon my home, Judge.
All right.
And at my home in
We're
South
gonna clarify
Fulton,
this. We'll break it down.
he never came there, okay? So if you don't come someplace, you can't live there.
Ms. Willis, that's, I'm going to have to caution you. This is going to be the first time I have to caution you. We have to listen to the questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony. So we need to break this down. Ms. Merchant's question, I believe, is asking whether you lived anywhere other than South Fulton.
Okay, guys, let me find this right here was what I knew. Hold on, there's a couple more places in here. Hold on. Here we go. Here's another one. Oh man, she was just so messy.
Mr. Let's go on and have the conversation.
I've just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments.
I mean, she's running her boyfriend or whatever, her boo thing, all running him under the table. I mean, under the rug, whatever the saying is. I mean, this is our DA, though. This is who's going to take down Trump. This is who's going to take down Trump. Let me read these. Guys, I'm going to get these super chats in a second.
About the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. It's about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was, man is not a plan. A man is a man. A man is not a plan. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need why I would give him his money.
A man
back.
is not a plan.
There was
A man is a companion. It's like, oh God. Let me read these super chats. Matless X, Fanny has AKA look with Delta swag. Jughead, thank you for the $2 holla. Gooderins, the Kamala. Matless X, real talk. When are we going to talk about the Black Women Political Network? Just as dangerous as the tribe. Jughead, thank you for the super chat. Anyone that voted for Kamala remind me of Charlie Brown, and the Democrats remind me of Lucy. Laugh aloud. Hold on. Hold on. Here's another. But she got all those documents just to do this. Hold on, just to do this. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. She got all these documents just to do this right here. Hold on. Of course she won her race. Of course she won her race. She's in Fulton County.
The time when the glow of candlelight reminded us that we can weather any storm. It was Chris.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
And, well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any problem?
I object to you getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege through a witness.
And I'm not, no, I'm not dealing with privilege. What we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review. And I just want to know if she has any
That's not
problem.
something you deal with a witness.
Okay, you have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one. So you filed 2 to date, is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22, and maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed, let's see, you filed your first one, it looks like April 15th, 2022, and your second one, April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
That I don't remember the dates, but you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you. I already gave the state a copy, exhibit 20 and 21. If you take a look at those. They're part of the certified records.
Can somebody bring me some? Yeah. Guys are getting a little old.
Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
those are the ones that you filed.
This looks like me for sure. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, we'd move to admit 20 and 21.
think you need to delineate which one's which
20
one's which.
is 2021, so it accounts for the time period, Your Honor, January the 1st, 21 through December the 31st, 2021. That is Defendant's Exhibit 20. Defendant's Exhibit 2021, it accounts for the time period, January the 1st, 2022 through December the 1st of 2022.
All right. Any objection to exhibits 20 and 21
Nope,
No,
sorry.
from other counsel? Admitted without objection.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020. I think he started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague. He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job. And he is certainly my friend and one of the people that I respect the most. So if you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay, let me just
And so
clarify that
I
before we
have a
go.
personal relationship with him as we speak right now.
A romantic
I don't think
rela-
that's what you're asking. I think that's what
romantic
you're asking.
relationship. When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end?
My-
Did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends. My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, he would have stopped having. I think that you have cemented that we'll be friends till the day we die.
Right.
That
Could
let's.
we just have an answer to the question?
I can handle Mr. Seda. Let's have it.
She asked about a personal
She
relationship.
asked when the romantic relationship ended. That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd say late summer of 2023. So I don't believe me in, this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just
when
asking
you're
about your
re-
romantic relationship, when you stopped dating. Asking.
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say June or July. I would say we had a tough conversation in August.
Cold calls
Oh,
and cold
Lord.
emails give prospects
Lord.
cold feet, which gets you the cold shoulder. Meet AI identifier.
So that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
And where, when did he come to, I guess the condo, I'm not sure what you called it, condo apartment. Would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo. So I'm trying to use those terms.
So but there's been more, see, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I
Ms.
need
Merchant, if you
to,
could ask a more precise
Yes.
question.
please give me the time period. that we're
Mr.
talking
Wade
about.
visit you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this, let me tell you which one you lied in, right here. I think you lied right here.
No, I'm gonna-
No. This is the truth.
Judge,
And
this
it is a lie. It
We're
is
gonna-
a lie.
Ms. Willis?
You see,
Mr. Seda, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. We'll be back in 5.
That right there. That right there. That is why no one gives a damn about these 32 felonies. That is why. That is why no one gave a damn about those 32 felonies. That's why, right there. Lost your cool. You got to be professional. Lost your cool. You know. Lost your cool, and that's what happened. Lost the cool, and that's what happened. Yeah, man, that's you know, like I said, when that happened, you know, that's when I was like, all right, no one's gonna give a damn about these cases no more. Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. It don't matter where the felonies came from, man. It don't matter. Like, it don't matter where they came from. No one gives a damn. All right. No one gives a damn. But guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. We will love for you guys to add to the convo. Love to hear you guys' feedback. I love to have you guys on here. Guys, we'll wait a couple more minutes. Nobody calls in. We'll go ahead and log out. Hey, Chief X, you got to connect your devices. Chief X, what's up, bro?
Oh, wow. I'm in here already.
Yeah, you in here.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
What's happening? How you doing? Let me turn this.
I'm good, brother.
I got an echo. Let me turn this other thing that I got echo. Okay, there we go.
Yes, sir.
I can hear
Go
you.
ahead.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
So,
Go ahead.
I appreciate you for letting me on, and I've been following this political process and this campaign, since the beginning, and it just totally pissed me off, right? And first of all, I wanted to say these 38 felonies, right?
Right.
Nobody cares. You're
Nobody
correct.
cares.
Nobody gives a darn, right? And first of all, I call them trumped up charges, no pun intended. But they put these charges on him and went after him out of fear. The Democratic Party feared Trump running again and winning again, right? So they tried to put these charges on him, feeling that that would stop him or imprison him or make him broke or what have you. And it just pissed me off because they were so petty. There was stuff for things like we did, right? Like, I'm a former realtor and a loan officer.
Uh-huh.
And they say Trump falsified some paperwork, falsified financial records. He paid a chick off, things like that, right? And as a realtor and loan officer, I don't know too many customers I had who didn't falsify some records. I don't know too many people who got a car loan and was totally honest to get their car loan, and they lied on applications. I know plenty men who have tricked, right, and got involved in prostitution and paid a chick's rent, and all that. It's just so petty to me, right? And I'm so glad Kamala lost. I'm a conservative. I've been rooting for Trump, right? I was thriving under Trump an administration. And soon as Biden came in, I'm broke. This has been the worst 2 years financially for me in my adult life. So there's no way in the world I would vote for this current administration to stay in place. I voted Trump, even though this is California. It's like a one-party state, you know what I mean? It don't matter what I do, it's going to be blue. You know what I mean? People in Cali are just great. It's just going to be blue. But I voted anyway. I just wanted to be heard, you know what I mean? Affect the numbers or what have you. But Trump is growing. And California has not had that many people vote Republican since they say, I think it was 1948, right? I said, and when you see the counties, Trump has flipped a lot of counties in California, which is rare, right? I said, if Trump flipped California and New York, the world will go crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So one day, though, but I truly believe, I'm going to say this because I'm not going to be on here long. I truly believe the Republicans will be in office for the next 16 years.
Okay, well, Chief, let me ask you this. I was saying the same thing because what Trump did, he has all his people in place now. All his people are in place now. Like, what can a Democratic Party do, if anything? I mean, like, what can they do?
Trump gonna have free range to do what he want to do, and people suffering from paranoia, which is a mental health condition, truly, right? Acting like he's in here to do something nefarious. He wants to destroy his own grandchildren's lives in future. You know what I mean? People with this paranoia is wild, right? And it's locked up now. And I believe, because I heard some communication, that in 4 years, Republicans may run a black male for a nominee. If that happened, it's game over.
Chief X, you know who I'm gonna say yes or no to that because I think JD Vance is gonna run in 4 years.
Oh,
But
okay.
I like Brian Donalds.
Is he the one from Florida?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
I like Brian Donalds.
He's a representative from Florida, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely love this cat. He breaks things down. Actually, I made a post and posted some things about it because I couldn't understand how I was doing I was thriving so much under Trump, and I didn't know the answer to why I'm broke under Biden as a self-employed person. See, a person with a job can't tell. They're gonna get the same pay regardless. But people with businesses and who's self-employed, they can tell the difference, right? And he simply said money was flowing when Trump was in office because he loosened the regulations, and it just allowed money to flow. I'm not a political guy, but it was a good enough answer for me.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I like Brian Donalds. I like Brian Donalds a lot. Mr. Sandman, go ahead, Mr. Sandman. Unmute yourself.
Hey, how you doing? That's good. Hey, did you know that Trump and his organization and his businesses had several thousand lawsuits prior to him becoming president in 2016?
Dude, every major corporation, even the ones you work for and I work for, all get lawsuits, bro. That's just, Miss Sandman, that's the price of doing business.
Par for course.
Okay. Yeah, so we know that he does do some dirt. So they brought some
hold on,
some legal stuff up against him, whether or not he was.
Miss Sam, let me stop you right there. Sorry to interrupt. Are you familiar with Charleston White? Are you familiar with Charleston White?
Yeah.
Charleston White said every job he worked at, he will purposely just sue the company on his way out.
Is that what he said?
Those were his exact words.
Say that again, Dynasty.
Charleston White said he will purposely, on his way out, sue every company he worked for.
I wouldn't believe too much of what Charleston White says. He fabricates a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't think he would just make that up just to say it, because I mean there are some people who are like that. I worked with a guy that does that did that. He'll just find something. He'll find some type of loophole, or I worked too hard this day, and he'll sue. I know a guy I know a guy who I worked with at my former company who has sued every company he's worked with, and he would just find some. The manager looked at me wrong, or just something. He said this inappropriate, this day, and it's just like, come on, man. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything, Mr. Sandman. But
isn't Charleston White a convicted felon of and conspiracy of murder? Like, what job was he working at?
When he was a kid, when he was under 18, he
gas station.
He got sent to youth authorities when he was under 18.
Okay, but I don't think he had a legit job. That's why he's on the internet, being that.
Hey, Mr. Sandman, can I ask you who you voted for?
Oh, I voted for Kamala.
Okay. Now, when you say he's doing dirt, what do you mean by dirt?
Oh, yeah, I voted. I mean, yeah, he's doing dirt. I mean, he got charged with doing something illegal. Whether or not it was brought up at the wrong time because they're trying to interfere with elections, that's another thing. But the law is the law.
You talking about his felonies?
Yeah, he got charged with what was he using campaign funds to
No.
hide
Okay.
things?
So do you know he had victimless crimes? There's no victims.
Yeah, I've heard of no victim crimes. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I go into a bank, right, and I tell the teller to give me all the money in the cash register, but I get arrested before, the cash register or the cashier gives me the money, no one's a victim. Am I still going to get prosecuted?
No, you're robbing the bank. The bank is a victim, and the teller's a victim. You scared her, almost gave her a heart attack.
Oh, so scaring
Mrs.
someone is
Mrs. Sandman,
a
come on,
crime
man. You
now.
can't, Mrs. Sandman, you
You're
gotta be
robbing
a
a bank. The
terrible guy,
bank is a
man.
victim.
Hold
Trump
on,
doesn't
Chief
have a.
Ed. Hold on, Chief Ed. Mrs.
So what
Sandman,
am
you
I?
got
What
Mrs.
am
Sandman,
I
you gotta
getting
be a tough.
charged with scaring
Mrs. Sandman,
somebody,
you gotta
or
be
am I
brighter
getting
than this, bro.
charged with robbery?
Mrs. Sandman, if I rob a bank, the bank's the victim.
No, I got arrested before
And if I point
I left
the
with the
gun
money.
at the teller's a victim as well, Mrs. Sandman. Come on, Mrs.
Yeah,
Sandman, you gotta be
what's
brighter.
the
That's
charge
called
though?
that's called armed robbery.
Yeah, it's called. I'm getting charged with armed robbery, even though I didn't rob the bank, right?
If you just said you went in the bank and tried to rob the bank and walk up to a
I
teller, you had a
tried
gun.
to, and I got arrested before
Right, but that's
I
armed
could
robbery.
leave with
It's
the money.
attempted armed robbery. It's a violent crime.
Attempted harm. Okay, yeah. So that's a victimless crime. I
No, it's not.
attempted it, but no one got hurt, and I didn't steal any money.
Putting a gun to someone is you're victimizing them.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's a different charge. That would be called attempted murder.
No, you can also.
Oh, Mr. Sandman, man. What did they do to you? Hold on. What did they do to you in the military? The reason why I'm gonna ask you this, Mr. Sandman, like my father, before he passed away, right? He told me that when he was in the military, he found in Korea that they shot him up with something or did something to him. Did they shoot you up with something, Mr. Sandman? You can't be this delayed. You can't be this delayed, Mr. Sandman. Did the military shoot you up with something? Y'all gotta stay out.
Why you changing the subject?
No, but I think Mr. Sandman Mr. Sandman is coming from an emotional point. He's not coming from facts.
I mean, I'm not even coming from an emotional point. I was trying to talk about something different, but you wanted to talk about like who I voted for and whether or not Trump should be charged with a felony or what have you. But the thing that I wanted to get at is, I personally am tired of the back and forth, and I'm glad we've come to like some type of resolution with the situation. And purposely, I mean, honestly, I just I hope Trump gets like full control of the government and does exactly everything that he wants to do, so we can find out exactly what is going to happen. And it's not going to be. Yeah, but I think we're going to be in for a roller coaster. His companies. How many companies has he made bankrupt over the years? So we're going to have him run our government and run our economy the way that he runs his businesses. And how many of his businesses been out of business? So
I'll say this: Donald Trump is worth $7 billion. He owns the Mar-a-Lago property. He owns Trump Towers. He's a good businessman. A lot of people file bankruptcy for tricky purposes and business purposes to keep money. You know what I mean? It's an angle they're at. So he's a great businessman, a great finance guy, or he wouldn't have $7 billion.
Yeah, he inherited $500 million from his father, and the real estate portfolio that he inherited from his father just appreciated value. That's where most of his money's coming from. But but the thing is, like, they saying like the economy was like booming under Trump.
What did he inherit from his father exactly?
His father was a super wealthy man. He was worth like almost $1 billion.
I'm asking you said, but what specifically did he inherit from his father?
Oh, he inherited his father's entire estate.
And what's that?
It wasn't even $1 billion.
All of the real estate. It was $500 million inherited in 1970. If you was say what the value of $500 million is in 1975.
So he turned 500 million into $7 billion.
Nobody's ever established that he only inherited $500 million. That he inherited $5 million.
500 million.
I know that's Democrat talking points.
No, that's a fact.
This is all
It's not a fact. Where do you get the fact from? You know what a fact is?
Look
A
it
fact is
up.
something you can go into court and prove. There's no, look it up
I
where?
already looked it up.
Okay, you looked it up where?
I already looked it up. I was trying
No,
to get
where'd
at
you look
something.
it up? You're
I was
lying.
trying to
Where'd you
get
look
at
it up
something,
at?
and I'll tell you
Where
after I
did you
get
look it
after
up
I'm
at?
finished. I
Where
will
did you
tell
look it up
you.
at?
I will tell you after I'm done what I was want to say.
Okay, tell
Okay,
me. I'll
so
wait. Because you're probably trying to look it up
yeah,
now,
you
figure out
wait.
something.
Yeah, you do that. All right.
Someone
So
said 20. Somebody said
the thing
25
is,
million. But whatever he did, he flipped it into 8 billion. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So here's the thing, though. So he deregulated a lot of things, and the interest rates was real low, right? So by deregulating a lot of stuff and interest rates being real low, right? When the pandemic hit, because the regulations were so low, all of these fake people who had businesses are filing for PPP loans, right? See, this is what happens when you completely
good.
This
Miss
guy is
Sandman.
just looking to make up what.
Hold on, U.S. Hold on. Miss Sandman, they had to file for PPP loans because everything was shut down, especially like restaurants.
everything was shut down.
Right, so they had to file
we
for
already
PPP
know.
loans so they could pay their staff.
We already know that most of these businesses out here don't make no money, and they full of shit. They just opening up LLCs so they can get tax write-offs, but it's not legitimate businesses.
So this is Trump's fault, Hal?
I think he just
No,
cut to
I'm
the
trying to
short.
say, I'm trying to say,
He's to make up whatever excuse he can.
his policies. I'm trying to say that his policies also affected the inflation by the too much deregulation. Once the economy got into this bubble and too much money was getting flown around, then it made it unstable. So when the pandemic hit, it kind of like went out of control and just busted.
Where'd you
So
get
we
your
also got to keep in mind that when Trump
Where'd
get
you
back
get
in
your
office and he
economics
starts to
degree from?
D8. Okay, yeah, but
Where did
yeah,
you
when
get
I
your?
went and
How about you
researched,
even doing education? Where did you get your economics degree from?
I didn't go for an economics degree. I just read up on stuff on my own.
Yeah, you just and how do you validate if whether what you're reading is more propaganda? Because you know it's a lot of propaganda. You know Democrats lie 24/7.
I didn't hear this from any Democrat. This is something that's coming out of my head.
Okay, but where is it coming from? What information source are you basing it on?
Okay, so the first information source that I got from the Trump inheriting his father's estate was if you go and look up, just research Fred Trump, and then there's all kinds of articles on
Okay,
his
but it
estates.
doesn't matter if have you seen any verified financial documents, or are you just seeing a bunch of articles that people write?
Have
You know,
you
you know
seen
people.
any verified financial items?
I'm not trying to attest to some number. I'm saying if you're going to attest to some number, then you should have some verifiable information.
So you saying that Trump is worth $8 billion? What if he's worth negative $2 billion? You don't have any verified numbers.
$8 billion. But you know, we do have some places like Forbes that are reasonably reliable. Which I don't know if he's worth 8 billion or 2 billion or whatever. But I will tell you this: you don't get to be a billionaire without having some business savvy.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if he released his tax earnings, then we would know how much he was worth based on the rate of tax he was paying.
I think Trump is the 126th richest person in America.
Well, we actually know. I'll tell you the other way we know something about some accuracy about his wealth is because they released his tax returns. Remember that one?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, but and they released them illegally because they like to do illegal stuff. Let me tell you something about all those charges. Every last one of those charges is bogus. Every last one of those convictions, and they know they won't stand up. And I'm somebody who's done thousands of cases. They're all bogus. And I've talked to other lawyers. Like I had another lawyer, he even voted for Harris the other day, but he knows those charges are bogus. They knew that, first of all, you got 3 prosecutors. All those prosecutors did, the 3 black prosecutors, they all went to the White House before they filed charges. And you got Wade, who says he went to the White House, he billed them for 24 hours, but he doesn't know what he went to the White House for. Okay, so they all went to the White House. They all got money from Soros. If you look at that Letitia James, she ran on that she was going to find something on Trump. Same thing with Fani Willis. So what's up with prosecutors running on that they're going to put somebody in jail? So that and none of those charges. If you look at that, the charges in New York with that property, if you look at the oral argument they had at the appellate courts in New York, the Supreme Court of New York, that justice cut that woman down from the state's office. As soon as she started talking, he stopped her and he started asking her, "Have you ever had a case where you had a sophisticated buyer and a sophisticated seller, and the seller signed something saying that they're going to do their own appraisal?" And he went through a litany of other things, and she couldn't answer and charge somebody. What he was getting at was, these are not even normal charges. Then you get to the so-called rape thing, well, the lawsuit with the rape thing. First of all, nobody gets $600 million, whatever it is, for somebody touching your butt 20 years ago. And here's what they did. They know that's unconstitutional. They passed a law which said that they would, for 1 year, eliminate the statute of limitations. And 15 minutes after that law went into effect, that woman met with them too. Her lawyers met with them before they passed the law. 15 minutes after it went into effect, she filed a lawsuit. That was a setup. Okay. So, if you start looking at these cases, nobody gets charged with these cases. These are bogus cases. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. That Letitia James, if you look at one of Trump's lawyers, like he warned her the other day, if you think you can continue this lawfare on the sitting president, we'll put your fat ass in jail. That's what's going to happen. That's what he said.
That's
That's what's
hilarious.
going to happen. And I'll be glad to see it, because you don't use the law in that way. I've dealt with enough the crooked prosecutors that I know, and the reason they're crooked is because they get this immunity. They get immunity as close to what the Supreme Court said the president has. They get absolute immunity for anything done in the course of their judicial executing a judicial office. But if they're doing things like investigating something like that, they only get partial immunity, just like the police officers do. But the reality is these cases are crooked, and no black man should be celebrating that prosecutors misusing their power and their authority to prosecute any man. We should know better than that kind of stuff.
Correct.
And we should not be celebrating prosecutors who go out and run and campaign on putting somebody in jail. She didn't have a crime. What you had was prosecutors looking for a crime. And if I look behind your background, I guarantee you I could find some crimes.
And trying to take 500 million of his money.
Right. And that was to try to break him, they were trying to break him so he wouldn't have money to campaign, trying to tie him up. This was the most crooked operation. The Democrats have proved that they're the most vile, crooked group of people humanity ever known. I cannot in my mind wrap my head around why any black man supports the Democrats. There is nothing in the Democratic Party for a black man. There's nothing. And something else I'll tell you with that so-called, there was not rape. I guess he said he touched her inappropriately for $600 million, whatever that was. They used that same statute to go after Cuba Gooding Jr. and the prosecutor, the legislator, I should say, that actually drafted that. Somebody used it against him, and you know what he said? He said it's unconstitutional. So the prosecutor that was the lead in drafting that, he's got a suit against him, a sexual harassment suit against him, and he's claiming that the statute that they put in place to get Trump is unconstitutional. So that tells you just how vile these people are. But I'll say this. I cannot understand black people's association with the Democratic Party, because, and I'm not a Republican, I've always been independent, but I can't understand it because these are the people that raped and murdered millions of your ancestors. Joe Biden was a segregationist, a real segregationist. He caucused with Trump members. Yeah, he was a real segregationist. And then if you look back at Trump's got the best record with black men, probably any politician. And if you look back at him, and they keep talking about the Central Park 5, that was in 1989. In 1990, he got an award from Operation Push, which at that point was probably the premier civil rights organization. He got an award for service to the black community.
I've been sharing that video of Jesse Jackson giving him an award.
Yeah, he was also he was the most celebrated person by all the so-called black culture at that time, the rappers and stuff, making songs about him. He was on all the shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I think it was 1991, 1992. He was on Oprah's show and she was talking about how good a president he was making, and he was talking the same stuff about tariffs and China ripping us off and all the other stuff. He was on Oprah's show, and she said he'd make a great president. And Trump revealed that Oprah sent him a letter saying he should run for president. She should be the vice president. He should consider her for vice president. When Mike Tyson got in trouble, when all these so-called black liberals and lackeys didn't stand by him, Trump did. When Michael Jackson got in trouble, Trump stood by him. Trump said, "I don't believe he's a child molester. He's in my house. He watches my children. I've seen him with my children. I don't believe he's a child molester." And he also said this woman has a history of making up stories and lies. And he said, "I believe he'll be acquitted." I didn't see no white liberals or black liberals really standing by him. So, if you from a black man's standpoint, he also the one who posthumously pardoned Jack Johnson. He started the First Step Act and got a lot of those black men and women who were put in prison under Biden's drug policy that he drafted.
Right, real quick. 90% of the people he got their sentences reduced. 90% of them were African American.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to look at any man who has, first of all, if you look at Joe Biden, he probably has the most vile history against black men. He probably authored these crime bills that were targeted towards black men, towards blacks, and he's proud of it. Okay, and that's the guy they like. Okay, and then you've got Trump. Also, the other thing about Trump was he had a reputation during the 80s and 90s. There were a lot of black men, businessmen, who could not get loans. Trump gave them loans and forgave the loans when they came to pay him back. Okay, so Trump has a long history of support. He also was dating some black models at the time. He was open about it.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend who was a model. She was biracial. She was black and white. He dated her. She made a statement years ago that Trump has never said anything disparaging about any race around her.
And then it's the other thing. If you look at all these women, like all these Democratic operatives, these women on The View and all this other stuff, he was on there right before he ran, and they introduced him as their friend, and they were hugging and kissing him and all this stuff. Here's the reality: is that Trump, this whole issue about Trump has nothing to do with race. That's just how they're marketing it. It's about Trump wanting it. What you're really having is it's kind of a nationalist, globalist kind of thing, where they're trying to move us toward this stateless, the stateless kind of existence where we're not part of a state. We're part of this like global sphere. And Trump is very much into we're going to retain our national sovereignty. That's what all this immigration was about. All this immigration was not, fortuitously. It was not by accident. It's by design. If you look, and that's part of that Agenda 2030. Okay. But if you look at it, it just can't be an accident. If you have organized caravans coming up through Mexico, you have places where people have FedEx where you can wire money like MoneyGram and Western Union on the way. You have people getting at the border where there was a series of buses that were picking them up. You have people hiding them, taking them and flying them in airports. You have an application that they get onto and get immediate parole into the country when they come to the country. That's a deliberate process. That's not something that's happened fortuitously or by accident, or it's not a lapse in security. That was a plan. So, and that the problem is Trump is thwarting those plans. All this other stuff about him being a racist is all phony, because all the same people now who are telling you he's such a racist were the same people singing his praises. The only thing that happened is Trump changed his position, and you got a power structure that is afraid of him. The same power structure that's killing us with all the additives and stuff on our food. Most of our food here, a lot of our food here, you can't even sell in other countries because it basically has cancerous stuff.
Let me say this. Like, I'm 54 years old. I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm 54. Everybody in my era, I'm kind of pissed at, because they should know better. Trump was never, ever back in the day known as a racist or even called a racist. That only happened when he won the Republican nomination. So I have a video on my channel. Chief X is my YouTube channel. Subscribe, right? I have a video on my channel.
Put your link in the private chat so I can put it in the the main.
So I have a link on my YouTube channel. In a video, 67 times rappers have praised Donald Trump. And it goes from back in the 80s all the way up to he became president. All the rappers were totally praising him, looking up to him. So this is why I get bothered by people around my age. They know better to be saying this because we looked up to Trump and Trump was kind of halfway celebrated, right? But what happened
He
was,
didn't halfway celebrate. He was celebrated.
right. So what happened was when when he first came into office, Republicans and Democrats was pissed at him. Republicans calmed down over the last 4 years, but so as an outsider, because he wasn't a politician. As an outsider, when he kicked all the Republicans' ass and became the nominee, they were pissed. When he became president, he kicked the Democrats' ass and became president. Now they were pissed because he's coming in as an outsider, right? So then he comes in office, and I think one of his first few speeches, this is what set it off. He said, I'm getting rid of all these lobbyists because I don't want to be beholden to them. He wanted to run his own show, and he wasn't going to let lobbyists control his ideology and what he does. When he did that, Democrats and Republicans wasn't making as much money as they can make because the lobbyists weren't there to fund them some money for their issues they wanted to bring to light. That pissed Republicans and Democrats off. So his first year, Republicans was kind of salty, Democrats was real salty, and it became this barrage of fake news and lies and just fighting him to death and slandering him and making up all these fake narratives. Then they called him racist. And because people think, black folk think, if you're Republican, that means you're racist. But if you're Democrat, you're not racist. It's the craziest thinking I've ever seen. Right?
We've been programmed that way.
Right.
We've been indoctrinated that way.
It's crazy. It's because also, like, just because some redneck up out of West Virginia supports Trump, that means black folk in their psyche thinks they have to do the opposite of what some other poor white racists do and be on some kind of team. It's us against them. So they're not voting for their principles and values. I learned to vote my values and principles over personalities. I don't care what Trump said, crazy or wild. He's not the best orator. He's not the best speaker, but he means well, in my opinion. So they say, oh, Trump said something. I'm not going to spite myself because Trump said something. So there's somebody who's been doing some math out here, right? A family of 4 pays out $1,200 more a month than they did 4 years ago. So people are paying $1,200 a month more these days because of inflation, gas prices, food prices, and they're spiting themselves just because they're mad at Trump. It's crazy.
And I got bigger issues than that. I mean, the money's one thing, okay, but the other thing for me is the social issues. First of all, I don't know how a black man believes that he has a place in the Democratic Party. They're misandrous. They're anti-male. When you have a position, for instance, you take the vice president's position in the Supreme Court, when you have an old segregationist, and remind you, Kamala, when she ran, she called him a racist, said he was a segregationist, which he is. Okay, when you have an old segregationist tell you that a certain position is only going to be open to a certain black women or women or anybody else, I take that personally because I don't care what position it is and who's doing it or what the rationale is. Anytime you discriminate against me, it's a personal thing. Anytime you tell me, it's no different than if you tell me I can't sign up because I'm a male than if you tell me I can't sign up because I'm black. It's still discrimination. And I don't know, that party is so anti-male. They're always talking about raving against the patriarchy and, and any kind of male authority. They denigrate males. You have Obama routinely. This is not the first time he comes out, feels comfortable denigrating black men. He did the same thing in Morehouse. He did it several other times during his presidency. He never came out and chastised black women, but they feel perfectly comfortable chastising black men and denigrating them. So, I don't understand. Then you look at the history. If you think about something, we're the only group of people that would join a party. Being a black Democrat is the equivalent of being a Jew in the Nazi party, because that history is the Democrats, the history of Jim Crow, the history of slavery, the history of segregation, the history of lynching, the history of burning down black towns. That's the Democrats' history, and they most of them were they were the primary opposition to the civil rights legislation. So they only switched up. They didn't. All they did was switch up their marketing after they could no longer segregate black people and they could no longer deny them civil rights. They just figured out a new way to exploit black people politically, and that's all they've been doing for the last 60 years. You know, give them a little welfare here and there, break up their families. There is nothing positive that you can say the Democratic Party has done for black people in 60 years. So I don't understand what the attachment is to it. This is like some kind of Stockholm syndrome. I even start wondering. I wonder if we have some kind of genetic predisposition. Maybe if you have an ancestor who was beat the hell out of and was made to fear, say white people are leaving the plantation, maybe you have some cell memory or something. I don't understand it, but I don't understand, especially black men's, support for the Democratic Party or black men's support for Kamala. What is a black man going to get out of that? Like more discrimination, in different jobs, more isolation from positions, more likely to be ostracized. So there's nothing in that party for a black man, and why a black man would toss his hat in that is totally crazy to me. So and all this talk about Republicans, I don't really so much want Republicans to do something for me. I just don't want them to do them things to me. And all this other things about pushing this transgenderism on your children, putting that kind of stuff, passing laws that your kids now can make can have confidence in confidentiality at school when they decide they want to transition, and then having all this rainbow stuff in your classrooms, and
sharing bathrooms,
and having men come in there with dress and a mustache and lipstick and teach your children that. Why would any black man think that was acceptable? Or why would any black man buy into that? That's sickness. So it goes beyond to me. It's a sickness.
Prince Amir, you forgot to mention something. I don't know if you heard it through Fani's little hearing.
Go ahead.
She admitted to using campaign funds for a trip for her and Wade.
Right.
But nobody said that.
She also said that Wade can't get his thing up because of his he had some
that was foul.
That was foul. Something like that. He had a prostate.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
She threw him all under the bus. Threw him under the bus.
He's calling to your house and come to your house at 3 a.m. and stay until 5, but he can't get his thing up. So what's he coming to do?
Also, I hear, I don't have proof, but they say Trump donated to Jesse Jackson's campaign when he ran.
He did. That's exactly. Matter of fact, I knew that back when that happened, back in the day, and I was young then. But the bottom line was, Trump did. He was a major supporter of Jesse Jackson's campaign for presidency. So how Trump only became the racist when it's politically expedient for the powers that be to make him a racist. Think about it. He's coming in. This whole war thing is it's a racket, and it's $1 trillion racket. And it's like this Ukraine thing. That money is not going. Most of it's not going to Ukraine. It's been paid to military contractors here. And that money's been fed back through all kinds of campaigns, those billions through campaigns, and it's making the ways and offshore accounts and the pockets of politicians. That's why most of our politicians, they all voted. I think maybe with the exception of 10 Republicans, they voted not to have an audit. In other words, they don't want anybody to know where the money's going. So when these wars are bankers' wars, and they're $1 billion, trillion boondoggles, and so Trump comes in and he says he's going to stop all the wars. We're not going to be getting involved in wars. That's a problem. And it's also about them expanding this hegemonic kind of ideal they have for dominance over the planet, and Trump is threatening that. So all this stuff about Trump being a racist, it's manufactured, and it's manufactured consent. They want to get you so you hate him enough so they can kill him and do what they have to do to get him out, because he's costing and he's threatening trillions of dollars. He's also threatening the pharmaceutical now with Robert Kennedy. I mean, like Robert Kennedy said, when he was a child, he said there was 1 in 10,000 kids was autistic. And now that thing's something like 1 in 30 or something, like some outrageous number. And and at that point we only had 3 prescribed vaccines. And since then we have like maybe 70 vaccines now. We've had explosion of birth defects, but you're not allowed to talk about it. Just like we've had all these COVID things, we've had a lot of COVID deaths. You can look up the numbers, but you're not allowed to talk about it. This whole free speech thing, why would anybody want to go along with this regime now with all this censorship and stuff? That's the other thing I appreciate with Elon Musk. They're talking about, and matter of fact, he came out with a plan today. One of the plans is to end censorship, and he came out with a whole set of plans to go after companies that censor speech. When you lose your right to free speech, you've lost everything. You're done. And that's why they have the First Amendment is freedom of speech and freedom of association. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. That Second Amendment is what you need to pick up when they take the First Amendment away from you. Because when you lose the First Amendment, when you lose your right to free speech, you've lost everything. And the Democrats are very big now on censorship. If you listen to Kamala, she said we can't just have people out there speaking to the masses unfiltered. So if you look at Kamala and you look at what's going on, and other people, John Kerry said that, the World Economic Forum said that, that Klaus guy at the World Economic Forum said that. You have Hillary Clinton said that recently. So you got a group of people who want to take away your most basic human right, which is speech. They want to censor it, and you want to join up for that. So that's what I'm saying. The whole thing with Trump, and this whole thing with black men not supporting Trump is crazy. And like I'll say to all the black men who voted for Trump, I want to salute you because you really helped save the day. And the rest, you only got 20%. The other 80% are going to be lost, and that may be just the way it is for years to come. But we got to somehow break that mindset. I don't know how it's going to be done. It's awfully strong. People will make up all kinds of excuses, but just like I said, I don't see any justification for a black man to have anything to do with the Democratic Party. And I think it dishonors our ancestors to be associated with the party that raped, murdered, and enslaved millions of them. So I'll just leave it at that.
Dynasty Amir, before you go, let me say something.
No, I go ahead. I got Idris that just came out too, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I want to just tell a brief little story of how I became or turned conservative, right? I remember when Obama was running, I got so excited. I was watching MSNBC and CNN all day, every day. I was just so caught up politically. So I even volunteered to help Obama get in office, and I was at the call centers over here in LA. So I'm calling people, what you gonna do? You're at the call center. So I'm helping out Obama's campaign. I'm excited about it, right? So after his first 4 years, I sat back and I had to think about something because I was kind of disappointed, right? And I said, you know what? Things didn't turn out like I thought they would or wanted them to be. And I started listening to Fox News, right? And other independent media, right? I said, you know what? All I do is listen to CNN and MSNBC all day, which is one-sided. And I sat back and said, you know what? I'm brainwashed. My brain is fulfilled with only one opinion and one narrative from one side. I'm not getting the other side. So I started listening to Fox News and other independent conservative channels on YouTube and things like that. And it hit me. I realized the Democrats fucking lie a lot. And I didn't realize that until I gave the other news channels a chance. So that second term, I didn't vote for Obama. Then I voted for Trump his first time. I started waking up to things that I didn't know because I felt I was in a liberal cult and got brainwashed because I'm only listening to MSNBC and CNN. Black folk have to realize brainwashing is real, right?
True.
You can get flooded with one-sided opinion, and that's where your mind is. So like the brother who was on earlier, I guarantee you all he listened to is CNN and MSNBC. So he has a one-sided opinion of everything. So whatever narrative they tell you about Trump, that's what you know and you believe. Until you open your mind and start being unbiased, you're going to remain in this liberal cult. I call it a cult now. And I said, you know what? My granddaddy and my daddy naturally has conservative values. And no way in the world will my granddaddy vote for gay marriage and all this transgender stuff and all that. No way would my daddy and granddaddy do this. But why are they still voting against their values and principles? It's because of the brainwashing, right? And I just think black folk need to open up their mind, especially the black women. I guarantee you next year, 78% of black men voted for Kamala. 21% voted for Trump. Those numbers are going to get bigger next year because people are going to start seeing the light. They're unhappy with the way things is going, right? So I implore people to be unbiased and listen to both sides, and then you'll kind of wake up and say, oh, okay, I get it now. These people have been lying to me. I just wanted to say that.
Well, and I agree with you on one thing too. I've been saying it's a cult too. If you look at it, if you take all the tenets of a cult, they got everything up the list: child sacrifice, genital mutilation. They're on the verge of pedophilism. I mean, that's like the next step. I don't know why I can't speak tonight.
Oh, before you continue, let me just say this:
And then after you, I'm gonna pass it to Idris. After you, go ahead.
Okay. Kamala ran on gay rights and abortion. Bottom line, basically, it alienated men and black men. It is nothing on her platform that made me feel good. Or like, yeah, I'm watching Trump at the UFC mixed martial arts fighting events. I'm watching Trump on the golf course. I'm watching him interact in the sports world and be hip, sick, and cool. I didn't see Biden and Kamala at any of these things to me. So Trump resonated with me. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Idris. Unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself.
Hello, brothers. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I respect everything you guys have said. It makes sense to me. Like when I came to this country as an immigrant, the moment you get here, the first thing they tell you is that the Republicans are racist. So like you find out a lot of immigrant families, even from all their beliefs back home, come here, and that's one idea, they cannot go over it. They cannot go over it. They stick on it, and it makes it difficult for you to get immigrant families to vote for Republicans. And over the years, because I voted for Obama the second time, because that's the first time I could vote. And then after that, I started listening to different news, like you just said, different news. And then and I'm a Christian and I go to church. I'm like, I don't know why I would vote for this group of people against everything I really, truly believe, just because you say somebody is racist. And I can't get beyond that. It's so difficult. Like my dad voted for Kamala Harris. And the next minute I called him, he was like, I can't believe your mom is the reason I voted for Kamala Harris, because she was about to cry. I'm like, but he believes in peace. He believes that Trump will bring peace to the world. He believes that Trump will solve a lot of problems. But then you went and voted. I'm like, I can't get this.
What? Go ahead.
I cannot bring myself to vote for somebody who the primary position that she took throughout the election was abortion. We all go to church, and even some of our pastors, when they talk, they kind of like leaning you towards voting for Kamala Harris, and you begin to wonder, like, so after everything you taught people throughout the past 4 years, you confusing them by telling them to go vote against the thing you've been teaching them all these years. Like, it don't make sense to me. It don't add up. I think what as Black people, what we need to do, like I always tell them, the Republican Party, in some areas, they are looking for more diversity. If you are able, you can register and join them. Like I live in a 70-80% white neighborhood. But my thing is, if you are diverse, you kind of stand out. Like if you are a minority, you kind of stand out. And if you can really pick because like we live close to Burlington in New Jersey. So like if you can just stand out, they need that population to join you. So I'm like, if we don't go in there and change their mindset, we can't stay out and continue to complain. We need both of these parties to be for us to win with both of these parties. But we cannot just pick one side and then they don't have to fight for us anymore because they figure out, why am I fighting for these ones when obviously they're going to vote for me? It don't make sense. I feel like we really need to change our mindset in this electoral thing in this country.
Well, the other thing I say is I don't know what the average black man has in common with the Democratic Party. What values do they share in common? I mean, abortion, is that your value? Gay rights, is that your value? Do you want the ability for them to be able to teach that lifestyle to your children? Do you want the ability? Do you want? What are your values? So, I don't understand why black men, and also they're very anti-male. If you listen to all the conversations,
Oh yeah, they are.
they're misandrous at the core. I mean, and they're not offering anything for you as a black man. They're not offering any opportunities to you, and they're constantly castigating you for being
Yeah.
male. Why would you sign up for that? It's like self-flagellation. It makes absolutely no sense. There's nothing in that party for a black man.
I'm telling you,
And
I listened to my dad and I was like, you support everything that Donald Trump is saying, but then you went and voted for I'm confused. Like, I don't understand it. Like, we are stuck in this sphere that we can't take a leap over it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of
anyway,
strange.
Real strange. Yeah, I don't get it, but I think it's gonna improve next year. I think the Republicans are gonna be in office for the next 20 years.
Really,
I mean,
but Chief X, let me ask you this. Here's another question too. And guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in. Well, this is my prediction. And Biden low key said it when he sat down with called Black Leadership when he was first inaugurated in 2020, 2021. I think, and God, I wish a black woman would actually come on the panel. I don't think sisters are going to be as influential anymore with the Democratic Party. Like as far as like demands, because they demanded that they have a black woman be vice president, they have a black woman be elected to the Supreme Court. I don't think the Democratic Party is gonna give to the demands because they're not going anywhere anyway.
You know what, Dynasty Amir? What I thought about, I seen, I was watching Kamala Harris campaign.
And if I can interject, sorry, Chief X, sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Look at Fani Willis drop the ball. Look at Kamala Harris. Look at BLM, those three girls, what they did. I just think they're gonna shift away. But go ahead, Chief X. Sorry about that.
So she had come perform. It was like we was having a BET concert.
Strip club.
Right. Meg the Stallion and Glorilla, and I'm watching them twerk, and I'm watching all the black women in America go, girl. It reminded me of the women who used to be against Kevin Samuels and this girl power, black girl magic. And I related a lot of this campaign to anti Kevin Samuels rhetoric. It's all about us, and we don't need no man. And because Kevin Samuels was a conservative, if people don't know, right? So he's about traditional values and men getting back on it and families stand together. And he was probably the only person on YouTube who was talking about black families stand together and trying to figure it out while everybody else is wild and talking about other kind of crazy stuff. So a lot of this campaign, all I can think about was Kevin Samuels and how everything that the Democrat campaign Kamala was spewing was anti Kevin Samuels rhetoric.
Well, the other thing, if you look at that campaign, it appealed to the most basic degenerate impulses of black people. You had, Meg Thee Stallion and Sexy Red, and all the nasty music they put out, and the vulgar music they put out, and Cardi B with her wet ass pussy and all that other stuff.
And US, if I can interject, Stacey Abrams as well. She's gone now, so I just think they're gonna shift from black women, this black girl magic, black women, because they already left black men. But go ahead, US lawyer.
Well, I'm just thinking, if that campaign should have been insulting to a person of average intelligence. I mean, if that's what you're taking to get my vote, you're not talking to me about anything of substance. You're talking to me about you're putting these entertainers up and having them shake their asses and give these teleprompted speeches, 3 or 4 or 5 minute speeches, and that's supposed to get me to go out and vote. I mean, it's really saying that you really don't respect me and you don't respect my intelligence. If you think that would motivate me to vote.
I said white Democratic men is not letting no twerking spirit up in the Oval Office.
So it was crazy watching that. And then you got all these weird and all these psychops that were running like, oh, Steve Vance JD Vance is weird. That's because they knew that guy that was putting up blocks was super weird, and so what they try to do is head you off by saying that the other guy's weird. So but just looking at them, I mean, there's nothing. I don't know what's in the Democratic Party for a black man. I can't figure that one out.
Hey, Dynasty Amir, I'm out of here. I appreciate you.
Okay, I appreciate you, brother. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Chief X channels. Go ahead, Chief X. Shout out to the channel.
I want to let you know my channel is Chief X. Please subscribe. I want to let you, Dynasty Amir. I'll be checking you out. I may not come on a live stream. I may not comment, but I do check y'all sometimes. And my next time I go on a tour to Africa, because I went to Ghana, right, and loved it on a 10-day tour. But I want to go on a tour with you. The next time I get the money up and want to go to Africa, I'm messing with you, Dynasty.
I appreciate you, Chief X. Thank you, brother.
And I'm out, y'all. Peace out to Idris and U.S. Lawyer. I'm out.
All right. Thank you, boss. Yeah. For me, I just did not see Kamala being a president. And it's not because she's a woman, but for a lawyer, she just cannot speak. I'm like, if the teleprompter is not working, she's a mess. I cannot understand it. I thought this lady was an AG, was a prosecutor, I'm like, how did you get to those levels and you can't talk? It's confusing. The media is so powerful in this country, man. They raised that lady. She was so unpopular before they named her. The next day, she was so popular. I'm like, this is crazy.
Right. But hey, guys, we'll put the link in the chat. We'll stay on another 10, 15 minutes. If you guys want to call in and add to the convo, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. We'll love to have you guys. Love to have you guys on.
Dinas, what do you think about the team Trump is putting up?
Man, like Chief X said, I mean, so what happened in 2016, if you listen to Trump's Joe Rogan,
I did.
He said that, the people he put on were like referrals, and they ended up being like establishment neocon, whatever. Kids. Now he has his people in place.
Yeah, so, I think now he's gonna put his people in place.
So he's gonna get stuff done.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that, because that would be a good start for them for the next election. Because I'm looking at JD Vance. The thing about Tim Scott is a little bit, I think he's too soft. He's too nice.
I like Byron Donalds. That's who I like.
Donalds. Yeah, if I'm JD Vance, I'm teaming up with Byron Donalds.
Hold on, Justice Love, call in. Call in. I never said that. You're putting words in my mouth, but I just honestly think the Democratic Party is going to start. They have to, and if you call in, I'll give my reasons why, and black men as well. Because it's just, you know, when you go on, and it's just, when you listen to CNN, when you listen to MSNBC, a lot of our sisters and brothers are just unbearable. When it comes to the commentary about the elections, you know, they want to blame Latinos, they want to blame the white man, they want to blame the white women, they want to blame black women, and this is just turning people, those that you need, this is just turning people off. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like, you need these Latinos, you need these white people, you need these brothers, that you need them. So the last thing you want to do is alienate them. Oh, the white folks that voted for Trump are uneducated. It is just like, okay, dude, all right, well, y'all lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you gonna blame all these different groups, and if you notice, Trump did not go after groups. He just spoke on the issues that he know the groups will like. And I feel like that's but when you start separating people on groups, that's when you have this problem, because now they're blaming the black men, they're blaming the Hispanics. But the problem is that population is growing so fast. If you go against them, you're in trouble. That population, they really need to be careful if they alienate them now. And it's natural though. I don't understand why they're making that argument. Most of us immigrants are conservatives. It's just that when we get here, we feel more aligned with Democrats, but not on social issues. On social issues, we're not aligned at all. So I see how easy it can be for immigrants to be Republicans. I always say the Republicans just need to tailor their message a little bit, and they will win the majority of the immigrant population. I'm telling you.
All right, cool. Hey, everyone, links in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, go ahead and call in. Link is in the chat room. We'll stay on for like another 10 minutes. But Justice Love, call in. Call in. You got the floor. The floor is yours.
So Dinas, you going next month to Sierra Leone, right?
End of this month. End of this month.
Oh, end of this month. Oh, I'm going there right now. I'm in school. I'm taking some courses. I'm finishing in May, but I'm going to Sierra Leone in December next year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there end of this month. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Right now it's just a little bit tough with the economy though. I mean, not for you guys. Yeah, not for you guys going. Definitely when we go, we go there for a month or a few weeks. We have enough money to take care of us there. So it's not too hard on us, but on the population right now, it's kind of tough. I get some people that call me now that would not have called me like 4 or 5 years ago.
Or ask for money.
Yeah. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, the Russia war is impacting the whole war.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like, whenever you take out that amount of food from the world, it's gonna impact the rest of the world, because then you have to take from somewhere else to balance it out, and it raises the cost of those things, because Ukraine by itself, I think is it 1/4 or 1/3 of the world wheat comes from Ukraine. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So the moment that's impacted, it's gonna impact the whole world's economy.
Here we go. We got Hood Haitian will be the last caller. All right, Hood Haitian, go ahead. Your last caller.
Hey, peace, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Hey, listening to Idris talk about how in the U.S. when the immigrants first come in, bro, he's dead on. As growing up Haitian in Miami, the first thing you of course you're gonna move in the areas where people look like you, obviously. And that's the first thing you hear. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to vote this and that. But growing up, you start seeing things like, certain things just don't feel right. As much strip clubs as I've been to growing up in South Florida, yeah, we having fun, but God damn it, my sisters are in the house. They're not outside like this. What I'm talking about as a young, dude growing up. Yeah, the boys, yeah, we outside. You get what I'm saying? But hey, yeah, I definitely understand. As you get older, the majority of us tend to align with the Republican Cubans versus the Black American Democrats that I'm talking about, like South Florida. So because once again, you around them all the time, so you that's all you hear is their politics. But then when you move, just based off our culture, like man, this abortion shit ain't right. Why why the hell, because I remember my mom used to be like, hey, don't play with them. They got too many different dads type shit. You get what I'm saying? Like little just simple stuff like that growing up. So now fast forward, you're a parent, husband with a family, and you pick up all this Democrat, Republican, and then hey, at the end of the day, you align with what the Republicans align more with the culture than these Democrats. To the point where I just moved outside of the city, moved my family away from the city. So yeah, man, that's. But politics in the U.S. is real simple since there's only two parties. So as long as we don't make it too complicated, it's real hard to be complicated. Like it's only two parties compared to other countries where they got a whole bunch. Here it's only two, so it's not that difficult.
Yeah. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
All right, nephew. So, yes, forget that during Obama, a lot of the first time of the young black males started getting into the politics. And by the time Trump come around the second time with all the shenanigans going on with the Democrats, they have more logic in their thinking. They know also themselves, and some people they know have had charges that was bogus, and they still got sent up the river for a long time. They also found out with the First Step Act, I think it was like 31,000 or 3,100 on the same day in May, that he got a lot of them out of jail and prison time. And so they're looking at what was not done. They're also looking at the last time they said no effing, no voting, and all that crazy stuff went on. And so if you notice that all the entertainers that actually entertained was female. There were some males that spoke, but they didn't really sing and dance and all that stuff. So they were still playing on the male's lust for the female to think they're going to drive them to vote. Then, as you stated, with the Fani Willis, the Letitia James, and several others, and even the ones in media, no matter what they did, they could not drive the same amount of black men to vote Democratic again. So a lot of them that's been leveraged will no longer be leveraged. And that is why they are still trying to this day, even post-election results, to keep pushing a narrative and to keep the divide going. And if something happens, they have an excuse for it, but they're feeding the flames. Just the other day when Trump said that he was going to take the remaining, I think it was $60 billion they had earmarked for Ukraine and make tent cities for the homeless. Well, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris come right out the next day and say, well, by January 20th, all that money that's earmarked for Ukraine will be gone. He will have nothing to use there because that's going to Ukraine. which has been stated as the biggest money laundering there is, and going back in the pockets those that, the warmongers that invested in all this military industrial complex. So right after, like I said, they don't care about the American people, what's going on. And then you got our people. We need somebody to blame. That's why they stay married to the Democratic Party. Because if the handout comes, they fine. If it don't, because the Republican Party, it's not they don't believe in a hand up. They don't believe in long term. They believe in trying to make sure manufacturers are here, jobs are here, and things of that nature, so you can work your way out. And that way, if you make it, you make it. You build a business. You learn the opposite tax codes. But many of our people don't want that anymore. The family value structures. The women today, they want to be recognized, but not honored. And it's a different thing. They forgot walking in their femininity and not feminism. Give them their honor. And so they have been told by other cultures that you need to do this and do that. Well, you helping them fight for what they want while you're losing what you already had. And that's what has happened over the last several years. And by raising, in the single mother epidemic plays into a part of this over long term, because you got a lot of the young males who were raised by the single mother, and this is why they use the phrase, well, your mama was black, and your mama raised you, and you had a black mama, blah, blah, blah. They use that because that's what's been more than 70% of the black male being raised by single mothers. So that compels them emotionally to have that connection, regardless of what's being done or not. A lot of them, the women are the primary breadwinners sometimes. So the men that can't get a job for whatever reason, they don't have education levels, or they just don't get them because they will bring a woman in first to meet the quotas, as you will. And then, so they're primary breadwinners. So the guy says, okay, I'm going to listen to the women because I almost have to. And sometimes, no matter what the Republican Party will do on behalf of black people, they will still say it wasn't them. It was left over from the Democrats. They will believe, like most of them said earlier, they only have one way of listening, and that's CNN and MSNBC and the entertainment networks, if you will. But they're finding out a lot of this is not working, but they still won't let up because they're so conditioned, programmed, and actually paid to do a certain narrative, and they just can't let it go. Because, like I said, all the stuff they still talk about, January 6th, and all, they keep beating the same things because they don't want to give up on that, because they are getting ready themselves to do all kind of craziness. So this is just a calm before the storm. So we can't rest in not being watchful. And a lot of the, thankfully there's a lot of black females, Latinos, even whites saying, you other ladies, you need to get a grip. But if you notice, they rarely talk directly to other females that voted for Trump. They'll talk to the black males and the white male because they've learned they can get away with that. But they will talk directly to black males like, how dare you? But when you get up and say a lot of people's uneducated, how do you think you're going to reel Americans back into your...
Right, exactly. That's my point.
They won't even listen to you. You tell them they're fascists, they're Nazis, and all this stuff. They were at a Nazi rally, so everybody there was Nazis. Even the black people that was there was now Nazis. And you want them to look at you as the party and change and inclusivity and all these things? No, it won't work. And when you get these elected black females had an opportunity over these last 4 years to do something, what do? They do the marching orders of the hand behind them, but also they're sleeping with someone else. They're married to the white person. They're sleeping their way through things. They're mishandling of funds. And then you say, that's a bad representation of themselves. So sometimes black people don't care, especially black women, as long as they're recognized. They will do more for recognition than they will do for money. That's just a fact. And a lot of the entertainers and athletes stuff, they have to stay in line because they're threatening with losing everything because the mob will attack them in every way. whatever they know about them or don't know about them, they will go get them and tear them down, and that's it. And they know that. So they have to stay in line, but it's not longer working. And over time, even over the next few months, you're going to see a lot more saying, you know what? I know where I need to be going forward. I'm going to let my voice be heard. So it's not so much that they found that the 21 or 25% of the black males that voted, what they're not telling you is a large percent of them never voted anyway. So that little 70-something%, that's off the vote. But it's a large majority of black men and women never even voted. And that they don't want to even really hone on them as much, because that's a pool of females as well on every demographic. But because we have been in a whirlwind of, like we were talking about the first time, that freedom of speech, when you keep censoring people, you're having these social, and I say if you're going to have social media, you're still media. So if they can report on regular media, mainstream media, you should be able to report the same language and words and everything on social media, because they're also getting government and under certain regulations and exemptions. And that's what they are free to lose coming up as well, is that you just can't. And they're already writing this. You have a chance to petition them by anything they say, and they must honorably look at it. They're already writing this about social media and deplatforming people, giving people strikes. That's already being written up, and they know it's coming. So they're going to be held at a high standard if they want to remain putting out their platforms. But I'm not going to carry long, but I just want to get in there and say that is the fact that no, nobody's caring about all these so-called offenses, because now they know it's been something that was just fabricated. For those that actually read, listen, and pay attention, they understand that they can't leverage the same storylines, even though they keep trying. And what they're doing is keep alienating people and pushing them away and away and away before that, and you just can't have that same. It's not going to keep working. And what they're not focused on, nephew, is the midterms coming up. And those that are like trying right now with the Senate and the House, they're trying to do a secret vote to put their puppets as a speaker before the rest of the Senate take place again. They're trying to create a new speaker so he can be the puppet that joins along with the Democrats as well. That's what Mitch McConnell did in the middle of the night over the weekend. Oh, yeah. So they're trying to subvert things even right now. And so, but J.D. Vance, if they take office, he will still be over the Senate. So if anything is going wrong, they will straighten it out, I'm sure. In any event, it's everybody's coming on. Like I said, there's some still come on and they talking out of emotion. They're talking out of being uninformed. But we're the uneducated. But I always tell people, educated and indoctrination is two different things. And then having a lot of degrees does not make you educated either. And that's what I tell. Black women might be have the most degrees. That don't mean that they're the most educated. Keep it in mind.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Down is mere search for her rules. Peace.